When the rescue team heard about a dog tied up and neglected on a remote farm, they rushed over, their hearts heavy with worry. Could it be true? Had Beak been abandoned? They couldn't believe it, it was him. Beak, the dog they thought had found a loving home. The truth broke their hearts. Hiding under a rusty machine, Beak trembled. His once white fur was dirty and matted. He curled up tightly, trying to disappear. A wound on his leg was clearly visible, and his eyes were filled with fear. The happy dog they knew was gone. "Beak, it's okay, we're here now," a rescuer said gently, hoping he'd remember them. But Beak pulled back, cowering and baring his teeth. Can you imagine seeing a dog who once loved you now filled with fear? They stayed close, speaking softly to calm him. Slowly, they reached out to coax him out. At first, he stayed nervous and scared, his eyes full of suspicion. But the fear was too strong, and he hid under the machine again. What had happened to make him lose all trust? No matter what they tried, he wouldn't come out. He bared his teeth, refusing to trust anyone. Finally, they pulled him out gently. His fur was dirty, and he looked frightened and confused. He snarled, his body tense with fear. This wasn't the life they had dreamed for him. They thought they had given him a second chance. But now, he was only a shadow of the dog he used to be. Determined, they looked for his owner. They shouted for a while, looking for someone. Finally, a man appeared, looking annoyed. When asked how he could let Beak suffer like this, the man shrugged. "He's fine under the machine," he said casually. "Fine?" The rescuers were stunned. Beak was not fine. He was terrified, hurt, and betrayed. They tried to explain how much harm he had caused. But the man only repeated, "He's my dog. Mind your own business." The rescuers shared a look. They couldn't leave Beak here. Ignoring his protests, they carried Beak away. At the shelter, they finally removed the heavy leash. It had been hurting him all along. Imagine carrying that weight for so long. They fed him by hand, trying to earn his trust. But their hearts ached with guilt and sadness. How could they have trusted someone so cruel? After checking Beak's injuries, they rushed him to the city animal hospital. At the hospital, after a quick check, the doctor said Beak needed a bath to clean his wounds. Beak stayed calm during the bath, as if he felt a small sense of relief. As they began to dry him, Beak looked panicked, he looked terrified, as if remembering past trauma. But they calmed him down gently. Slowly, his wounds became visible. The rescuers were shocked at how severe they were. Afraid of hurting him, they sedated Beak. His neck was severely injured, the skin already decaying. They found several deep wounds across his body, including a large one on his leg, several centimeters long, and 2 smaller ones, likely from bites. The vet were appalled by the extent of his injuries, which had been hidden beneath his thick fur. Realizing how serious it was, the vet quickly prepared him for surgery. If Beak hadn't been saved in time, his neck could have rotted away completely. 3 large wounds marked his neck, infected and oozing with pus. Because of the infection's severity, a drainage tube was inserted to help remove the pus and fluid. The surgery went well, but Beak was still very weak. And 4 would help him recover and ease his pain. Beak lay exhausted, but finally able to rest safely. On the 2nd day, the rescuers visited him again. They hoped for even the smallest improvement. But Beak still looked wary, as if trust was something he'd long forgotten. They brought him special food mixed with eggs, something Beak had loved before. His appetite was gone, just like his spirit. The rescuers grew worried. Had Beak lost the will to live? They spoke with the vet, who gave them bad news. The infection in Beak's neck was severe, making him weak and losing his appetite. Worse still, the vet said Beak suffered from dangerous malnutrition. He hadn't eaten properly for a long time. His body was too weak to heal quickly. The vet treated the wound on Beak's leg and found a fungal infection in his ear. But the neck infection was the worst. The vet gave him antibiotics and painkillers through the 4-drip. On the 3rd day, the rescuers returned with renewed hope. They brought meat and nutritious food, hoping the aroma would entice him to eat. Beak sniffed eagerly, drawn by the tempting smell. And he ate it right away. Success. It was a small but significant victory. The rescuers felt full of hope. For the first time, Beak ate without hesitation. After eating, the rescuers called to him, and Beak came a little closer. With gentle patience, they fed him treats by hand, hoping to earn his trust. Beak's fear remained, but he gradually accepted the comfort from the food and gentle voices. It was a tiny glimmer of hope, a fragile thing that could vanish at any moment. On the fourth day, Beak began to show small signs of hope. The dog who once cowered in fear seemed less afraid as the rescuers approached. They gave him goat milk, hoping to nourish his body and soothe his heart. His eyes were calmer, his spirit brighter. In the hospital garden, a gentle breeze swept through Beak's fur, and warm sunlight enveloped him. For the first time, Beak seemed to enjoy it. His tense body, once frozen in fear, finally began to relax. When the rescuers hugged him, Beak didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned into their arms, feeling the love and care. His eyes, once filled with fear, softened. A tiny glimmer of hope, and perhaps even gratitude. His courage brought them to tears, a sign that even broken hearts can heal. Day by day, Beak grew stronger. It was time to change his bandages. The vet carefully examined him. After a while, the vet smiled and shared good news. The swelling around Beak's wound had reduced, and he was recovering well. "Look," the vet said gently. "New skin is starting to grow." It felt like a small miracle, a sign that Beak was slowly healing. The vet told them that soon, the stitches could be removed. After that, Beak would be ready to leave the hospital. Hope was growing, just like his new skin. Then, a sudden fearful day arrived. The vet called to say that Beak's former owner had come to the hospital, demanding to take him back. By the time they arrived, the former owner had left. The vet had refused the man's request, stating that only the rescue team had the right to take Beak. The vet couldn't bear the thought of Beak suffering again. But because of this, Beak's anxiety returned. He grew fearful again when the vet touched him to apply ear drops. After a while, they finally managed to care for his ear. He quickly ran back to his crate, fear overtaking him again. But they eventually calmed him, using treats and playtime. On the 11th day, the rescuers and vets celebrated a major milestone. Beak's stitches were removed. It was a big moment in his recovery. His wound was healing beautifully. Though still weak, Beak's recovery was remarkable. On the 14th day, Beak was ready to leave the hospital. A month later, Beak was almost unrecognizable. He ran and played with other dogs in the park, full of energy, his tail wagging non-stop. The emptiness in his eyes had turned to joy. He was no longer afraid. Beak now knew he was safe and loved. Three months later, Beak's transformation was complete. His fur shone, and his spirit was full of life. His story proves that love can heal even the deepest wounds. Are you thinking of rescuing an animal? Your kindness can give them the fresh start they deserve.